good. Yep.
Okay.
No. Hi, everyone, and welcome back. So today we're going to be talking with Evan Cutler, who is founder of the Cutler Foundation and is very familiar to the PD Warrior tribe because we've been collaborating together on his 10-10-10 program. So I'd love to have Evan tell us a little bit more about that and his Push-Ups for Parkinson's foundation and campaign, because it's been absolutely amazing. I love what he's trying to achieve. So Evan, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Well, listen, thank you. And thanks for everyone who's part of the mission. We're working together. We're uniting. That's what we're trying to do, is spreading awareness and hope and strength. And if we can have a little fun along the way, it's a big win. Thank you.
That's right. Although I can't say that doing 10 push-ups if you're not used to doing them is all that much fun.
Well, that's okay. We start slow. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's right. So Evan, can you tell us your story? How did this all come about?
I can tell you our story. I like to call it not my story anymore, but our story, because I feel like, we're in this together. And growing up as a little kid in New York City, in the Bronx, actually, is where life started for my parents. And I remember that my grandfather had Parkinson's disease, but that's really all we remembered. There wasn't a lot said. There wasn't a lot to say. He had Parkinson's. He had some shakes, and that was about all we really acknowledged, so to speak. And life went on, and he eventually passed away of old age, primarily, and we continued life. And about 25 years, 30 years later, when I realized my dad had Parkinson's, I don't remember the time frame, I apologize, but my dad, long story short, we were on the phone with my dad. I can remember it clearly. I was in the bed. It was an evening. I was just laying there. I think my wife and I were reading or just doing something. And my dad said, "I have Parkinson's." And so I really started paying attention at that point, if you know what I mean. And, then the questions start. What does that mean? What does that mean for him? What does that mean for mom and dad? What does that mean for us? And that's how the journey really started, is when my dad acknowledged that he had Parkinson's. So we started paying close attention. My parents started going through the journey. They put their seatbelts on like big kids and, with their chins up the whole time, with their chins up and walking strong and walking tall and embracing the situation. And just like we all need to do with whatever situation we're in, regardless of what we have or what we're up against, we have to walk forward. And that's what I saw them do. In the beginning, my dad, all Parkinson's situations are very unique and different. And I think that's one of the most challenging things about Parkinson's disease, is that it affects everybody so differently. And in the beginning, my dad, for a very long time, nobody would even know he had Parkinson's, and he didn't want people to know. But you wouldn't know anyway. He didn't have the common symptoms. He really didn't have tremors. And so, the first couple of years, which most people, I think, in the medical field or in the Parkinson's community call the honeymoon period of Parkinson's, which is when things are okay before things start to deteriorate. The honeymoon period came, and, we started noticing more symptoms. And I started noticing the strength that my parents were going through this and dealing with it with. The strength that they were willing to inspire me with, frankly. Again, chin up, good attitude, the way we all need to act with all the adversity that we all have, because we're all going to have some adversity in life. If you don't have any, put your seatbelt on, because eventually you will. So I think that's a big lesson that can come from all of this as well, beyond Parkinson's. But back to our story here. Dad started some of the normal symptoms, some depression. So he was weak. He was not himself. He was introverted. And then the normal symptoms started to show up. He was shuffling his feet and all of that stuff. And my mom, her life stopped, and her life became dedicated to helping him. And that became their life, was the doctors and figuring things out and going through this together, her as his partner and caregiver, and my dad dealing with what he was dealing with. And he was scared, frankly. He was scared, but he was strong. And I was proud of him. And we watched the situation. You know, I don't want to get into the negatives. He did deteriorate and all those things did happen. But what happened, what I noticed happened, was our family got stronger. Watching the caregiver role made me learn about that scenario and that dynamic, which is such a common dynamic in life now. And I didn't live near them for part of this. So thankfully, I was able to get closer to them physically and figuratively. Mm-hmm. We got closer as a family. And as I'm watching them go through this with strength and grace and a positive attitude, they were inspiring me, simply put. And I wanted to figure out how to inspire back somehow. And I really didn't know how. And I said to my father, I have an idea, Dad. I'm going to do 100 push-ups every day for the next 100 days, and I'm going to put it on Facebook. See if I can create some awareness. Just, this is what I can think of right now. You guys are inspiring me. I want to do something. This is my big, bright idea. I'm going to do 100 push-ups every day for the next 100 days. Well, 100 days came and went like that, and that was 10,000 push-ups. And I said, you know, some of my friends started noticing me doing it on Facebook, and other people started to do some push-ups. And I just said, I'm just going to do this every day for the rest of my life. It's actually making me feel better. It was helping my strength as I was watching my parents. And my dad got a kick out of it. My mom got a kick out of it. They would cheer me on. Did you do your 100 today? Did you do your 100 today? Yes, Dad, I did my 100, you know. And I said to myself, you know, there is no day that goes by where I'm too busy, where I can't fit this in. Okay? No excuses, no baloney. I can fit it in. I'm not so cool and so busy I can't do it. So I'm just going to do it every day for the rest of my life. And figuratively and literally, I like to say push-ups actually saved my life, because it helped me go through what we were going through together. It helped my strength. It helped my breathing. It helped my stress. It helped my posture. It helped my state of mind. It helped my spirit. Figuratively, literally, it helped the people around me. It helped my mom. It helped my dad. It became a big game. But it was also helping me improve my health. Mm-hmm. And I think, as we've learned, and as you're probably waving the banner, exercise is medicine, as I know you've promoted that, Melissa. Thank you. And even a little bit of exercise. We all can do a little bit more. So I started talking to groups that of Parkinson support groups, and other people started to do some push-ups here and there. And I had people tell me that it helped their tremors. So it became ingrained in my blood that I was going to do this forever. And like I say, it helped my parents. It helped me. I decided, with the help of some really close friends, to start an organization called Pushups4Parkinson's. And it started with a little bit of Facebook activity, and eventually it spread all over the world. But the other part of the story was that, I'm going to compress some of the story here, but I started the movement, the literal push-up movement, on June 23rd of 2015. Right. That was the day I started doing 100 push-ups a day. And I'm not suggesting people do 100 push-ups every day, but do 5 or do 10 or do some every day and see what it does for you. But on June 23rd, 2015, is when I committed to doing 100 every single day. 2 years later to the day is when my dad passed away, which was June 23rd of 17. And when that happened on that same day, I said, there is no doubt that I just need to do this for the rest of my life, which is when my son, who was 13, I think at the time, he did the math. And he said, if you do this until grandpa's age that he passed away, which was 74, you'll get to 1 million. I said, well, by golly, I'll do 1 million push-ups then. And that was kind of how everything started. And I said with a couple of my friends that started this conversation with, if I can do 1 million push-ups myself, and I can, and I will, maybe we can get the whole world to do 100 million push-ups. And let's raise $100 million while we're at it. So as outlandish as that may seem, the more we started thinking about it, the more it started to actually seem like something we could pull off with the brains of the people that I'm friends with. And that's how everything started. And after putting things on social media for a while, Michael J. Fox organization caught wind of it with my son's help. I started talking with the Parkinson's Foundation. I started talking with our local groups. I started talking with you folks in Australia. And, that's kind of my why. And that's kind of the abbreviated version of the story. Push-ups for Parkinson's became a real thing. We formed a foundation. We have an executive board. And we really want to create awareness, spread strength, because it literally and figuratively both provide strength and hope. And those are the three things that we revolve around: is awareness, strength, and hope. We want to promote a little bit of exercise, and it seems to be helping, not just me, not just the people around me, but other people, frankly, throughout the world. So
and why do you think that is, Evan? Because I've seen it explode, and I've seen it really probably reverberate in the last year since I've certainly known about it. I've seen it's captured everyone's imagination. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think there's two things with this movement. It's a movement, okay? It's a literal and a physical movement. And people like to be part of a movement. People like to be part of something. And it promotes good health. And our world nowadays, we're seeing these little gyms and fitness centers and health spas and, floating places you can go and float. There's just a lot more awareness to good health. So I think when you put something catchy like this in conjunction with a good health angle.
And easy as well. It's easy to do. It's simple to follow.
Easy to do, easy to catch on. And again, I just want to reiterate, our mission is not for people to hurt themselves or commit to something that's, risky. We don't want people to do 100 push-ups a day. That's not the intent. That's my personal challenge. We're challenging people to do something every day. Most people do some form of exercise. If not, they should. But on top of what you already do, maybe do 5 push-ups a day. Make that daily commitment. And it's good. It promotes goodwill, good health, good fun. And we all need more fun in our lives too, Melissa.
Yeah, I agree with that. And so, Evan, then you started 10-10-10. So that was in October last year, or preparing for that in October. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think that in itself, again, is a really simple, strong message that is spreading again quite easily.
Thank you. Yes. This thing has evolved quite a bit. It started as the 1 million push-ups for Parkinson's challenge, which was my challenge. And then it became the 100 million push-ups for Parkinson's challenge. And then in talking with some groups, in particular the Michael J. Fox organization, and doing some brainstorming, we came up with the concept of 10-10-10, meaning 10 push-ups, $10, 10 people. And for social media purposes, we started encouraging people to do that. Do 10 push-ups, tag or challenge 10 friends on social media, and donate $10. And we tried really to kick it off on 10-10, which was October 10th of last year. And we weren't in existence very long, so it was a slower start than of course we'd all like. But the date really helped us, 10-10. good date. And we have some big plans for 10-10 of this year. That's how that started.
Yeah. So again, it's great in concept because I think it will take off once people know a little bit more about it. So I did read somewhere that you're trying for the Guinness Book of Records. I know that may or may not be part of the plans now, but again, that's to raise awareness, I'm assuming.
Raise awareness. We'd like to have the most people doing push-ups in one location to get into the Guinness Book of World Records. That's going to require some legwork, which we're happy to do. But, you know, the other thing, we also looked at the Ice Bucket Challenge. Of course, most people know about that. It has a lot of good news surrounding that. The bad news was a lot of people remembered the Ice Bucket Challenge, but they didn't necessarily remember why they did it and what it helped. So we tried to piggyback on that with the 10-10-10 challenge and the push-ups. The Ice Bucket Challenge was wonderful. It didn't necessarily have a health benefit to have ice water put on you. So with our movement, it is, you know, catchy, it's fun, and there's a health benefit. So we think we have a little, you know, an upper edge on a movement because of the health benefit.
Yeah, it sounds like a good formula. So what do you think drives a movement? What's going to be different about this year, do you think?
You know, I think it's consistency and persistency, and it's awareness, and it's the literal movement. We want people to move. We want people to take action. It's bigger than Parkinson's even. You know, that's advice that we give people in business and families. Take some action, move, take the first step to push through adversity. So the other thing that really resonates with people, most people are dealing with something. And with Parkinson's, you're dealing with a lot of things, and a caregiver is. And we tell people, you got to push forward and push through. And that's where the other play on words comes in, is push up. You know, sometimes we don't feel like getting out of bed in the morning, and, you know, we want to stay under the covers, but eventually we got to push up and push through and take a step out into the world. And it actually can make us feel better when you take the first step.
Yeah.
So, you know, all of those things, I think, play together and just make good sense. That's why I think it's starting to kind of catch on.
And so you've partnered with Michael J. Fox Foundation and you're in connection with other organizations. Is that's part of the big strategy to grow as well, to leverage the peak bodies and the international community?
Excuse me, yes. We do. We want to help. We want to unite. We want to unite organizations. We don't want to see organizations kind of competing with each other. And I think I've broken through some of that. We have broken through some of that already, because I think there is some competitive nature.
Yeah.
And I think if we can unite some organizations to spread awareness together, it would be a big, big, big victory. And we're starting slowly to see that. Of course, celebrity endorsement, athletes endorsement will help. So we're looking to see how we can get involved in that regard as well.
Yeah, well, I love the sentiment. I mean, uniting a fairly fractured environment, landscape with the research, the clinicians, the influencers, is definitely a common theme with us as well. And so I think it's probably relevant to say now that we're really excited that we've partnered with you as a charity beneficiary for the Insight Summit. So, you know, we're hoping that we can help you to raise the funds that you're looking to raise for the research and the global community as well. So we're really excited that you're on board with that for the summit as well.
Well, thank you. I know you folks are, you know, working very hard. People don't often realize what all goes into some of these things, and especially what you folks are doing. There's a lot of work you're doing behind the scenes, so thank you back. But, you know, again, the uniting, we can do this together. We can't do it in silos. We can do it together, and together we are better. And I've made great friends with people like you and Amber and others, and you know, you don't see the world unite on a topic very often, especially perhaps in this day and age when it seems like the opposite is almost happening. So I think the timing is good. I think the Parkinson's community, the timing is ripe for the awareness. I don't feel like there's been a tremendous amount of awareness up until the last couple of years. It seems like it's been growing.
Yeah.
But prior to that, other than Michael J. Fox, people don't know much about any of it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think from a physio perspective, the amount of literature and information available has grown exponentially. And I think with that also a crowd of people that are hungry for information, and that is driving awareness. And I've seen that change, same 5-10 years, that's changed dramatically from when I first entered the space, I guess.
Timing.
Yeah.
Timing is right. And I think the exercise piece, the timing is very right. I have a feeling this year with Parkinson's Awareness Day on April 11th.
Yeah.
This
Well,
year,
Parkinson's Day, April 11.
I think you're going to see more revolving around the exercise piece and the movement, move.
Yeah.
That.
Excellent. Well, I'll let you go, but I just wanted to ask you one quick question. How do your 100 push-ups feel every day now? Is it a piece of cake?
Thanks. They're still hard. Okay. It's still a challenge, which is good. I want it to be a challenge, but it's going to happen every day. I can tell you that. There's no way around it.
Do you mix it up a bit? Are you doing one arm push-ups, legs up vertically? How are you doing your push-ups?
I do mix it up, to challenge myself and incorporate other things in the mix for the core and all that fun stuff. And it's, the more creative, the better, especially if people want to have fun with it. But again, it's not about me at all. So, people like to talk about the push-ups I do, but it's not about what I'm doing. It's about us uniting to have other people engage and move. And, I think together we can improve the world. It's not a cliche. We really can. We will.
Thank you, Evan. It's fantastic to connect with people that are so inspirational, so like-minded, and, together we will change the world, and that's really exciting. So thank you so much for your time today.
Hey, let's keep pushing up. Thanks for yours too.
All right. Thank you. Bye now.